Hi everyone, welcome to CMPT140. I'm going to be your professor for this class. My name is Kimberly McKay, but you can call me Prof. Kim, Prof. McKay, Dr. Kim, Dr. McKay. The only thing I ask that we stay away from is Kimberly. That is strictly reserved for the government and my mother, but otherwise I am quite flexible. I'm super excited to be your prof for this course. I recall very fondly when I took my first computer science course. I was very apprehensive when I started off. I didn't think that computer science was something I was going to excel in, and it ended up being something that I absolutely fell in love with and led to me getting my master's and my PhD in computer science and ultimately the career I have now. So I'm really excited to be on this journey with you. If you're also apprehensive, don't worry. Many of us are when we start out, and we'll get through it together, and you'll be surprised how much you learn through the course of this term. So to start off, we're going to do a little bit of a virtual icebreaker. I know icebreakers can be a little bit icky sometimes, but this one should be pretty light and fun. Since we are in a virtual setting, it's a little bit harder for me to get to know each of you and for you to get to know your classmates as well. So we're going to do a little bit of a meet and greet. We're going to use the Canvas discussion boards, the MISC ones specifically, and you're just going to post a little intro about yourself. So you can use any of the prompts that I gave here or come up with your own completely. You'll know that you're in the right place because you'll see that I also posted my own meet and greet, so you can get a little bit more about my background, what I'm currently doing for work, what my favorite cookie is, and of course what my favorite video games are. So please, please, please do that if you haven't already. I'm going to start off with just a little bit of an introduction to the first year computer science courses at the University of Saskatchewan. Currently, they have 3 first year computer science courses, CMPT 140, which you're in right now, 141, and 145. There are 2 different entry points into the first year computer science courses depending on your background and your comfortability with computer science already. So CMPT 140, which is this class that you'll be taking right here, is a very basic introduction to programming. It's designed for people who don't have any background in computer science whatsoever. So no programming experience. We assume you don't know anything. If you've taken some computer science courses in high school, or if you've done some programming on the side, a lot of the information that we present in this course will just be a review for you. And you don't necessarily have to take it. If you would like to, you could jump right into CMPT 141, which is their second computer science course that we offer. So CMPT 141 effectively takes all of CMPT 140 and condenses it down much quicker pace into the first little bit of the course. So you still get all of the background, but if you're comfortable with these topics already, it will move at a lot quicker pace, and then you also get all the new information that you would be presented at the end of the course as well. So if you have programming experience, I would recommend just jumping into that course instead of taking CMPT 140. CMPT 145 is the final first year course, and it's going to build on all of the basic programming and problem solving techniques that you learn in CMPT 140 and 141, or just 141 if you only take that course. And it's required to take if you want to move into a degree that is majoring in computer science. So that can all be a little bit confusing. You might be thinking, am I in the right place? I don't know. And so this slide here is going to help you figure that out a little bit better. If you've never done any kind of programming before, you are for sure in the right course right now. You should be taking this course if you want to major in computer science or interactive systems design or bioinformatics, something like that. If you want a science credit for any arts and science program, if it's required for your program, or if you want to be a better scientist, engineer, technical writer, etc. So I definitely took my first computer science course because I wanted to be a better scientist. So I feel like that's a little nod to me, but I know we didn't make it that specific. These slides weren't just tailored for Kim, right? If you have a computer science background already, or you want a faster start, you can start by taking 141. If you're still confused after all of this, we highly recommend you talk to an academic advisor if you're not sure. I am not an academic advisor for the university, but I can get you in touch with one from the computer science department if you would like that. If you don't know who to talk to, just send me a note, send me an email, and I'll make sure to get you the correct contact information. There's a couple possible progression paths through the first year computer science courses if you are planning on moving forward with a degree in computer science. A couple of them are listed here. So where you could, if you're taking all three of them, you could take Computer Science 140 in term 1, 141 in term 2, and then 145 in the spring summer to set you up for success for your second year classes. You could take CMPT 140 in term 1 or in term 2 1 year, and then take 141 in term 1 the year after, and 145 in term 2 the next year. So that's another option. I feel like there's a third that we're not talking about completely, which is the case for a lot of people that take these virtual classes with me, is if you take CMPT 140 over the summer, then you could take CMPT 141 in term 1 and CMPT 145 in term 2. The gist of it all is that you have to take CMPT 145 before you can take any of the second year computer science classes. So since there are three, and if you are starting with CMPT 140, you have to kind of follow one of these paths in order to set you up for your second year of courses. And again, an academic advisor can help you with all of that, but I think that most of you will be in this kind of path if you're taking this with me over the summer, or you're just taking this for general interest for your arts and science credit, for a requirement for your major, etc. All right. So the course website is obviously on canvas.usas.ca. I say obviously because if you found this video, you probably have found the course website. I don't think my YouTube SEO is that good, and it's not that good by design because I don't need everyone in the world finding these videos. They're really just tailored for the University of Saskatchewan courses. So I'm going to go through a couple of key things on the course website. But at a very high level, you're going to find all of the content that you'll see there. So you'll see our assignments, our labs, the videos for the lectures, the course Discord, which I'm going to go over that you'll get help with, the syllabus, all of our announcements, discussion topics, you name it, it will all be right there. So I'm going to quickly jump over to the course website. So it should look a little something like this on your side. You can see I was looking at my message to make sure I had posted, so you'll see this is in the MISC section. But if you jump over to home, this should be what you see when you first log in. So you'll have our course information with our schedule. This tab here, or this page here, shows you how we can get help with assignments, labs, and course materials, our syllabus, the textbook, some links for the downloading processing, which is the IDE we're going to be using for coding in this class, the link to the course Discord, the course YouTube, which you should be on right now. And then you should see all the different weeks and all the different things that we will have throughout those weeks. So the only thing that you won't fully be able to see is the assignments. Those are released week by week just because some assignments build off of the solutions for the other assignments. But everything else you should be able to see and have access to, so you can work ahead if you want, whatever kind of makes sense for the pace that you're wanting to go at. In this page called Getting Help with Assignments, Labs, and Course Material, what you will see is what we will call our help hours. So help hours are going to also include those tutorial hours that you would have signed up for. You can attend any of those hours that you would like that work for your schedule. What we will be doing for those is using the course Discord. So what you need to do the very first time you try to access it is use this invite link so that you get the invite into the Discord. After you have that invite link, you can just click this Discord link and you'll see it there. When you're there, it should look something like this. So we have a bit of a rules page that you can look through. The schedule is also posted here. We have a spot for questions if you don't want to ask them in the Canvas discussion board, but I would recommend the Canvas over the Discord one. And then we have this thing called the queue. So the queue is what we're going to be using for the help hours. Effectively, it's a way to say, hey, I'm looking for some one-on-one help from either the TA or from me, whoever's doing the help hours. You just need to click this button here to join the queue. It will put you in the list wherever you are. And then as we work through people in the queue, we will be pulling people from the queue. And then you can pop into one of these voice calls over here with me or the TA, and you can share your screen. We can talk in like a video call one-on-one and kind of go over your code and help you figure out bugs and different things like that. If you ever want to leave the queue, you just click leave and then you'll be out of it. If you have any problems with that, you can always reach out to me. I'm very happy to help. I know it's a bit of a weird thing if you're not used to Discord and those queue systems, but it is really, really helpful for in this virtual setting for doing that one-on-one help. I'll also recommend that if you do use Discord for like personal gaming stuff, that you make a separate account with your University of Saskatchewan email and give it your actual name. That just helps me so much when it comes to learning who you are. And then if you wanted to reach out later on and ask for a reference letter, I might have a better chance of remembering what your name is and putting a face to a name, all of that kind of stuff. But if you show up with your gamer tag, it's so much harder for me to learn names and map them back to what's going on in the class. The tutorials and the help hours aren't the only way to get help on assignments. You can also ask for one-on-one sessions with me. You just need to email them to my email address, which is right here, and we'll work out a time that works for both of us. You can also just post on the discussion boards, and I try to check those at least every 24 hours during the work week, so you should get a fairly decent response time there. Over the weekends, it's a little bit harder for me, but I still try to keep an eye on it just to make sure that there's nothing going on there that needs immediate attention. If you need any kinds of accommodations or extensions, make sure you email me. I'm the only one who can approve it. I'd also really, really, really appreciate it if you could send me that letter for a professor that AES generates for you. That just helps me make sure that I'm giving you the proper accommodations throughout the class so that you can have the best chance of succeeding. So that's the main page and the Discord that I wanted to run through here. Everything else you can kind of click through at your own leisure. If you have any questions about anything, just reach out and post it in either the discussion board or send me an email, either or, and I can help answer any kinds of questions that you have. Back to the slides. All right, so one of the very most important things that I need everyone in this course to do is take a look at that syllabus that's posted on the course page and actually read it. It is your responsibility in your university courses to read the syllabus. And it acts a little bit like a contract between me and you, outlining my expectations as well as what you can expect from me throughout the course, and then important policies. So in there's a couple of things where you have to complete certain things in order to pass the class. One of those is writing the final exam. So you have to show up to write the final exam in order to pass the class. If you don't, you can only receive a grade of at most 49 in the class. And the other one is completing what we're calling A0. So I'll get into that a little bit more later on in the slides, but you have to complete that in order to pass the class as well. There's a couple other things in there, like the use of Gen AI and how that's treated for the course. Lots on academic misconduct and how that's handled in this course. Lots about final exam dates, different things like that. So please, please, please take a look at that syllabus. It's not fun if I just read it to you on a video, I promise. So this course is going to be delivered asynchronously. So that means there's not going to be any times where we all have to log on for a lecture where you pop into a Zoom call and hear me talk at you ad nauseum. Instead, you're going to be doing weekly readings. We have exercise slides posted. You'll attempt those exercise slides, and then you can watch the video that's associated for walkthroughs on the different solutions. There's also weekly lab assignments and like general coding assignments as well. Because this class is so short in the summer compared to the winter or fall terms, if you're taking it in the summer, it is very much front loaded to get through a lot of that basic material fairly quickly so that we can have more time to kind of work through bugs when we're going through more complex things later on. So it's a little bit heavier at the beginning of the course in the summer, and it will lighten up a little bit towards the end. But no matter what, you'll have those labs and you'll have those assignments that you have to do every week, as well as your readings and exercises. So lots and lots of opportunity to practice. This I already talked through. That's just kind of reiterating what was on the other slide. Sorry, I should have removed that. Overall, so you'll have 6 assignments for this class, excluding assignment 0, which isn't worth any marks. Assignment 6 is, Each assignment is worth 7.5% each, which totals up to 45% of your final grade. You'll have 15 lab exercises, which are each worth 1% each, and then the final exam, which is worth 40%. So there is no midterm exam for this course. It's a lot more focused on just assignments and practical applications of what we're learning. Assignment 0 is due this Friday. I don't want you to panic. It's due quite quickly because it has to be in order for us to go into the next few assignments. So what it is actually a course from the university library on academic honesty. And all you need to do is complete that course. It takes about half an hour, and then you'll get a certificate at the end. You need to upload your version of that certificate to our course website. And it's not worth any marks towards your final grade, but if you don't complete that by this Friday, you will not be able to pass the course. So it is a requirement to complete that course from the library in order to pass CMPT 140. And this is going to be something that becomes standard practice in courses across the university, and your certificate will be valid for 1 year. So make sure you keep that certificate even after this course is completed, so that in the fall and the winter, if you have any other courses that need to do this as well, you can just upload the certificate that you already have. After assignment 0, all of the other assignments are typically going to be due on Wednesday. There's one exception for this due to holidays, where it will be due on the Thursday instead. You should be able to see all of the due dates for the assignments in the Canvas page. Labs have due dates, but they're really just suggestions to keep us on track. Late submissions won't be directly penalized. So you can keep submitting after the due date for labs, and you won't be directly penalized for that in your final grade. Assignments, once the due date has passed, you're no longer able to submit. So those are two different kinds of considerations to take with this course. The final exam is scheduled by the registrar. I don't have a say in it. Don't make travel plans until it is released, because you will be required to log into the computer and complete the exam. Since this is a remote course, the final exam will also be remote. So for our lab exercises, we'll be using this software called CodeLab, which is built directly into Canvas. They're very short programming exercises. If you're having problems with any of them, please come to help hours or tutorials. We're really happy to work through any kinds of sticking points there and help you figure out what's going on. You should get automatic immediate feedback when you submit the code, and you can keep on resubmitting until you get it right. There's no penalty for wrong answers, so it just takes your final answer and whether that was correct or not towards your grade. So there is a possibility, a very strong possibility if you want, that you can get 100% on your lab assignments, as long as you just make sure you get all of the answers correct by the end of the term. Okay? So yeah, it's a really nice way to practice what we're learning in class and also reward you for putting in that work as well. Oh, I was going backwards. So assignments will be due every Wednesday, as I mentioned, at 8 p.m. CST. They're going to be longer than our labs, but fewer questions. They're marked by human markers, and we'll try to have your feedback by the Monday after the assignment is due, so that you can incorporate anything that you would need to into the next assignment. Since these are marked by humans, there is going to be errors. We expect that, but we try obviously our best to not have that. If you suspect there was an error with your grading, just reach out to me over email, and I am very happy to take a look at it. It's easier if you just send me an email with what your concern is, and what assignment it was and what question it was, rather than popping into help hours, because usually I need to take a little bit of a look at it and just see what was going on, maybe talk to the marker, those kinds of things. So yes, just reach out if you have any problems. Assignments are not accepted after 8 p.m. So you need to make sure that your solution is uploaded to Canvas before 8 p.m. It will automatically lock at 8 p.m. and not accept any more submissions. If you aren't able to get your submission in by the deadline, you will get a grade of 0 on that assignment. Even if you have work done that you just weren't able to upload, whatever, that's the rule for this course. It's the rule for most computer science courses at the university. So you got to kind of get used to that now. What you can do is upload to Canvas more than once. So as you finish a question, you can upload that solution to Canvas and then your next one, etc., etc. So that makes sure that you're not in that kind of stressful situation where it's creeping up on the deadline and you needing to upload all of these things at once, okay? If you get accommodations for assignments through AES, again, send me that letter for professor and then reach out if you need to negotiate any deadlines with me, that kind of thing, okay? I'm the only one who can approve those, no TAs, no markers. So again, reach out to me over email and that will be the best way to coordinate that. As I mentioned, the final exam is scheduled by the registrar. It's going to be in between August 16th to 20th, including those dates. It will be online with multiple choice and some programming questions. Since it is online, it will be open book, but you are not allowed to collaborate with other students. So if you do that, that would be considered an academic misconduct, and we would have to take appropriate action for that. I will release more information about the final exam once we get closer to it in the course. The textbook is free. Woohoo! It was written by one of the other profs in the department, Dr. Long, who is wonderful. Oh my goodness, and I see I have a typo in here already. Was our old version of Canvas. It was called Moodle. This should be changed to Canvas. But yeah, it is a free PDF that you can download from the course site, and that's where all the readings will be. You can buy a printed copy from the bookstore, but you do not have to. You could also just download that PDF and print it on your own if you do want a printed version. So there's no required purchases for this course. We're going to be using the programming environment called Processing. So there's instructions for how to download that on your machine in the course website. And then we'll be actually coding with the language Python, which is one of the most beginner-friendly languages to start with. So it's more similar to how we speak in English than a lot of the other programming languages. So it's quite fun, and you can get used to it pretty quickly and ramp up quite quickly as well. If you have any problems installing this, come to tutorials or help hours or post in the chats, and we would be happy to help. Because this is a remote class, you are obviously going to be at a distance from the instructional team. So that's going to be people like me as well as the TA or TAs. But we don't want that distance to impact you getting help with the course. It is so, so important when you are getting stuck on something to reach out and ask for help, because it's so much easier for someone else to come in and help you identify bugs and then also explain maybe why that bug came about so that you don't continue to make the same mistakes. It's also important for just understanding the course material. Say you're reading through a chapter and there's something that's just not making sense. You can stop by any of the help hours, ask questions on the discussion boards, and we will be happy to elaborate, maybe explain it in a different way and get you up to speed on the course material. Please don't be shy. Don't try to struggle alone, and don't procrastinate. It's such an easy trap to get into with computer science problems that we can be kind of down a rabbit hole when we're fighting with the computer to get it to do what we want it to do. And then all of a sudden hours have gone by, and that's not what we want for you in this course. If you're seeing something and it's taking more than a half an hour to kind of find the answer to, that's a really good indication that you might want to reach out to somebody on the instructional team, either through the course discussions or the help hours, whatever, to get some help with the problem that you're stuck on. If you procrastinate that too much, it's going to butt up to when something is due. And if history serves me correct, that once something is getting close to due, those tutorials and help hours are much more popular, and we don't always have time to get through everybody in the queue. So if you procrastinate and we're not getting help earlier on in the week, once the assignment is released, there is the risk that we won't be able to help you with the problem until after the assignment is due. So that would be a negative impact to your grade, but please note that even after an assignment or a lab or whatever has been due, you can still reach out and ask us questions. Say you didn't quite understand something, you ran out of time. Things happen. We understand that. We're not here to judge. We're here to help. And so even if it is, say 2 weeks after assignment is due, and you're like, I didn't quite understand what I was doing here. Like, I might have got some sort of answer, but it was not easy for me to get to that answer. Please just reach out and we can help you kind of work through what the roadblock is there. Academic honesty is a really, really important part of all courses at the university. You need to do your own work, but it doesn't mean you need to struggle alone. So the instructional team is always there to help you. You have to, though, follow by these other rules here that are listed on the slide. You can never ever copy solutions from the internet. We are very aware that there are homework helper-esque type websites that are blatantly cheating websites in the view of the university, where students will upload questions and then other people will provide the answers to those questions and then they will get submitted. If you find a solution on the internet, it is likely that lots of other people in the course also found a solution on the internet and will be submitting the same one. And that is a very easy thing for our plagiarism software to pick up on. And we would then go through the process of formal academic misconduct if we do detect those types of things. So to be safe, just don't copy solutions from the internet. Don't use those websites like Chegg or Homework Helper. They are academic misconduct and they are not appropriate to be using for courses at the university. Similarly, with the popularization of generative AI things like ChatGPT, do not use those in these first year courses to generate solutions for your code. The types of problems we are working on can be easily solved by these types of things. But that defeats the purpose of taking this course and learning these skills on your own. If you don't put the work in right now to learn these skills and you want to continue on into computer science, you want to say on your resume that you have some basic programming knowledge, but you were using things like generative AI to do your work for you, when you go into second year, third year, fourth year courses or into the workforce, specifically with those other courses, you will not be able to succeed at them because the problems will increase in difficulty and the generative AI will not be able to solve them for you. So you really need to do yourself a favor, put in the work now to learn these skills that we are trying to teach you. And it will be very rewarding for not only your future courses, but your career. And of course, if you have questions about this and what would be appropriate or not appropriate, you can reach out to me. If you reach out to me before you submit something to talk to me about it, then we can have a discussion on it and come up with a plan together. But if it's submitted, my hands are tied and I have to deal with the reality of what you submitted, and that can result in formal academic misconduct allegations. I think I've already talked about the third point. Don't upload questions to the internet. It's a violation of not only academic misconduct, but also copyright. So all of the materials we present to you in this course are copyrighted from the university. So it is legally reprehensible to upload that text to the internet because you don't have the permission to do so. Using sites where you would be tempted to do that anyways is already putting you in a very tricky situation in terms of academic misconduct, so I would recommend just not even going down that road. The final one is never send any assignment code to another student. Now this can be hard to wrap your head around, but we have seen it time and time again where someone sent some code to their friend to show them what they were doing, and the friend just submitted that student's code as their solution, and then both students had to face academic misconduct allegations because of it. So it does not matter if they ask nicely, it doesn't matter if they're your friend, and it doesn't matter if they say they just need to see it. Protect yourself and don't send any code to any other students. Don't post code in the discussion forums. The only time other people should be seeing your code is if you're doing some one-on-one help with someone from the instructional team, okay? If you have questions about this, please reach out, because I know it can be a little bit confusing. It is a little bit scary, but we can have conversations. I can help clarify things for you so that it isn't scary and that it's really clear what's allowed and what isn't allowed. When you have questions for this course, check to make sure the answer isn't in the readings. Oftentimes it is. Sometimes we just forgot what we read, and if we just go through even a quick control F in that textbook document, will help us find what we were looking for. Check the forms. Oftentimes other people have the same questions. They've already asked it. It might be somewhere either in Canvas or Discord already. Post a question. Help other people learn from your questions as well. Because like I said, oftentimes it's more than one of us that has the same question. Instead of me answering 10 emails to different people describing the same thing, I can just post one response and everybody can learn from that. Always make use of the instructional team through Discord or Canvas. We are so happy to help. That's what we are here for. And you can also send emails to me for official requests, logistics like extensions, different things like that, or requests for one-on-one help if the tutorial times or help hours don't work for you. I am here to help, and I'm so excited to get to know all of you through this course and watch you kind of grow into these programmers. It's going to be so fun. With all of that, happy coding, and I hope to see you in some of our help hours soon. Bye all.